I always wanted to believe, but now I do. Surely you are the Son of God.
The true light that gives light to every man who is coming into the world. He was in the world, and though the world is made through him, the world did not recognize him.
See, whenever we see a reenactment like this, it should remind us that Jesus died for things, deep needs that we had that we didn't even know that we needed. Things like life, freedom, salvation. And whenever we see a reenactment, or whenever we read about what Jesus did for us in the Bible, it should always remind us there are deep needs that we have. That we need him in the center of our life. He wouldn't have wasted his time on the cross if we didn't need him. You see, and those that see it will approach him for the need that he is and experience the life that he promises. So the only question tonight is, do you see it? Do you realize the need that you have for God in the middle of your life? To not just know it, not just believe in it, not just say, oh yeah, Jesus is real, but to make him the center, the top priority in your life. You see, it's not just a casual want. We need him. You know, think about it this way. Let's just say you have a situation. You know, you got a mom, she's maybe 6.5 months pregnant. All of a sudden, she starts going into labor pains. And they're like, oh man, it's way too early to have this baby, so they rush her to the hospital. And they've got the specialists in there, and they're trying everything they can to keep this baby inside. But pretty soon they realize, man, this baby's coming right now, and so they get ready and they deliver the baby. And as soon as they deliver, they realize this baby has no heartbeat. And so the sirens start going off, and more specialists start flying all over the place, and they're working super hard, doing everything they can to get life to this baby. See, that's how you were born. That's how I was born. See, we were born dead. And we need life. See, it's not just a casual thing. That baby doesn't need anything else. That there's nothing else more important in that moment than getting that life back. And we were born needing the life that Jesus has to give. You know, maybe think about it this way. Maybe you were captured as a child. And so you're in some type of slave camp and you're forced into hard labor. And they work you every day and they beat you and they chain you to a wall at night. You see, think about it. What else would be important to you besides your freedom? If someone said, hey, let me send you a new video game. Let me give you a new pair of clothes. Would that even mean anything to you? You see, what you need is freedom. Until you get that, nothing else matters. You see, that's how you were born. That's how I was born. We were born slaves to sin. To a cruel taskmaster that will steal, kill, and destroy from our lives if we don't go to the only person that can bring us freedom. You know, what if maybe you found out at some point that you had cancer and you didn't know it? It spread all the way down all over your body, man. It's in your heart. And then you realize, and they're saying, look, man, we got to do a transplant right now. Would you be like, oh, you know what, I really got this game I want to go to, you know, I've got some other stuff I'd like to do first. And until you get that new heart, nothing else matters. That's what you need. You see, and again, that's how you were born. That's how I was born. We needed a new heart. We had a heart that was wrapped with sin, and we needed God to set us free, to heal our hearts. See, here's the thing, you guys, I believe that God drew us here tonight. Because maybe some of us, we've never ever grabbed a hold of it as a need. And maybe some of us, we've been in church our whole lives, but we've never really responded to God in that kind of way. Made him the top priority. You say, Mike, what do you mean by making God the top priority? Meaning that, you know, when it comes time to how you act with your boyfriend or girlfriend, you follow what Jesus says. When it comes to what you do with your time, what you do with, you know, the way you talk, the things that you wear, the things that you listen to, you let him be the top priority, the governing person, your decision maker in life. You realize that you need him, he's the only path to life. See, I believe God brought you here tonight because You now are like the rich young ruler. And just like the rich young ruler came to Jesus, you've come here tonight. And though Jesus is not here in a physical body, he's here in this room. And he's speaking to you through everything that you see. And the same message that the rich young ruler was confronted with, now you are. Where he told the rich young ruler, like he's telling you, listen, I want to transform your life in ways greater than you ever imagined. Will you make me number one? Will you approach me as a need? And I'm going to tell you tonight, you have two choices. You can say, you know what, man, I don't know if I want to do that. I got another step I'm into. And I'll promise you can walk out of here sorrowful just like he did. Or this night can be a moment, this moment can be a moment of destiny for you. Where you do what the disciples did. In the verses to follow, they said, Jesus, we've left everything to follow you. What about us? And one of the greatest verses of blessing in the Bible follows. He said, no one who's given up anything for me will not receive 100-fold in this life and life to come. And I thought, isn't that amazing? The difference between holding back one thing and giving up everything was the difference between walking away sorrowful and walking away blessed. And walking in a relationship with God. What is your choice this morning? Listen, maybe you've never given your life to Jesus before, but you're going, man, I need him in the center of my life. In just a second, I'm going to give you a chance to respond to God. And maybe you've been in church your whole life. You said, Mike, I know about Jesus, but I've been approaching him like a want instead of a need. Well, maybe tonight we need to drop the facade and quit acting like, hey, everything's good. I'm good with Jesus the way I am, and realize, no, you know what, it's not good the way I am. I need him in the center of my life. So you think about it tonight. What decision are you going to make? How are you going to approach Jesus in this moment and from now on? Is he going to be a casual want? Is it going to be something that you do when it's convenient? Or are you ready to come to him and say, Jesus, I need you like I need air. God, you be the center of my life. Jesus, I don't know how to fix myself. I don't know how to heal the hurts. I don't know how to change the insecurities. God, you fix me. I need you. I don't need a new outfit. I don't need to compromise with some guy or some girl. What I need is you, God. You heal me. Make your decision right now. What's it going to be? Is it casual one or is it? And if you'd say tonight, you know what, Mike, that's what I want, man. I need him. I get it now. I know we don't have a lot of room here in the front, but maybe you can just, as you begin to step out of your seat, maybe find just a spot right there in the aisle, right there on the stairs. Maybe just get on our knees together. And we're just going to cry out to God and say, God, come be the center of my life. I need you. I'll tell you what's going to happen. God is going to come and meet us. Begin to transform your life in a way that you'll never do the same. So that's you. You're ready to say, Jesus, that's what I need you. I don't just want you. I'm not just going to play church. Jesus, I need you. You do that right now. You get up out of your seat. You kind of make your way as close as you can to the front. We're going to pour out our hearts to him. Give him every piece of our life. You come now. Let's I don't care if you've been in church your whole life. Just say, man, this is what I need. God, it's you. Come and you just come as close as you can to the front. If you can get down to the floor, if you're in the thing, so you come as close as you can. We're just going to get on our knees together. You know what God says? If we'll just come to him and cry out to him. He says in that moment he meets us. He said that God is always knocking on the door of our hearts. And listen, just let me in. Don't make me a guest in your heart. Let me own the place, and if you do, man, I'll change you. Life will never be the same. Just come now, wherever you're at. You guys that are already on your knees, you just begin praying right now. Praying is just simply talking to God, just telling him, God, I need you. Maybe there's some things you've been holding above him. Tell him, God, I need you more than I need this. I need you more than I need that other thing. You've been sitting in church a long time and you're thinking, I know Jesus is real, but man, I've got all these strongholds, all these things that I always keep above him, and you're sitting there and maybe your heart's kind of pounding Jesus saying, listen, will you just come? Will you just come tonight and say, hey, Jesus, I'm going to take my life. I'm not saying I'm going to be perfect from now on. I don't know how to fix myself, but God, I realize I need you. make it there, you can just stand. He's ready to pour your heart out to him. Just tell him right now. God, I need you. Jesus. Lord God, we just come to you tonight. Lord, we bring you our lives. God, we realize